Rebekah got this idea. She found out that conventional milk isn't so great for you. We were just eating like everybody else, the standard American diet, the sad diet. And she found out there's hormones or something in the milk. Rebekah, what was wrong with that milk? Hormones and antibiotics. Did you all know that in conventional milk? And she's thinking, that's not a great idea. So what we did is we replaced that with organic milk. So when we ran out, we went and bought organic milk. And it kind of then spiraled from there. So when we ran out of pepper, we replaced it with organic pepper. When we ran out of butter, we replaced it with organic butter. And tightwad Justin, I mean, we weren't making a lot of money at that time. We're just string of our pants, and I'm freaking out. I'm about to have a panic attack. And then we're going to the grocery. I go to the grocery store with her, mistake, and we're checking out, and I'm about to have a heart attack because these prices are just crazy. They're going through the roof. Some of you are nodding. It gets ridiculous. And so I'm freaking out, and we're checking out these bundles of kale or lettuce. I forget what it was, one of those greens. And I happened to look over, and I saw the seed packet stand over in front of the aisle. You guys see those at the grocery store? And I thought, that's interesting, and I knew enough that I knew these vegetables came from seeds. So I went over there. I checked out this, out of curiosity, I checked out the seed packet. Turns out the seed packet was about the same price. Let's say $3. So these organic bundles of kale or lettuce was $3. Well, these seed packets were $3. And but these seed packets had 100 seeds in them. So I could do some quick math and think, wait a minute, 100x, 100 times for the same amount of price? And I started going through this, really? Why are these seeds here? Is this not counterintuitive? Is this too good to be true? Why is the grocery store selling these seeds? Because if everybody made this connection I was making, they're not going to be selling any more bundles of kale. We got the seeds right then, and we went home, and this might have happened over time, but we talked, her parents knew somebody that gardened, and we had them help us out and get us our first garden. But here's the thing, and my talk to you is, if I can homestead, you can too. We're not likely to do that. Rebekah grew up in Florida. Anybody grew up in Florida? Like Florida, like West Palm Beach, like grass and concrete and swimming pools and never getting barefoot never getting dirty. That was Rebekah. She was going to marry a banker in a suit and live on the intercoastal. Let me tell you, that was a successful banker. That was one way up at the top. I'm sorry, Rebekah. Remember, I told you I wouldn't be here if it weren't for her. She's very merciful and forgiving and overlooks a lot of things. Okay, and then I grew up, so Mom, she's from L.A. And country bunkin' Dad somehow convinces her to go to Appalachia, back to Hooper's Creek, where my dad can remember getting running water for the first time, getting electricity for the first time. His mom, my grandmother, can remember a car coming down the road for the first time. They took a bath once a week, Saturday night before church, washed their clothes in the creek. And my dad had these nostalgia feelings about, because in those times, if you didn't grow it, you didn't eat. There was no government assistance. There was no credit cards. If you did not grow it, you did not eat at that time. But he never remembers going hungry. His mom took care of him. They always had a milk cow. And he told fun stories. And one day, but then my dad forsook it. He forsook it to be a salesman and go to California. I mean, thank goodness he found her out there. But they came back, and so he didn't pursue it. He kept cows, probably for the, Mom, you might have a better insight. I'm guessing Dad kept cows for nostalgia and for the tax write-off. He was cheap. You think I was cheap going through that line? He was way worse than me. Okay? So I asked him one day, I said, hey, Pop, why don't you, I mean, you're fond of this. Why don't you still do this? I mean, he had garden once, I sort of remember. And we had some chickens once, but it kind of gone away. Why don't you do this? And he said, because you can grow it cheap. You can just buy it cheaper. And for him, you could just go out and work as a salesman and make a lot of money and then just buy it. But what I found out later, as now I grow my own food, he was comparing apples to oranges, not apples to apples. Because what you can grow, because come on. If you're looking at the Go Grocery $1, I don't know how they do this, $1 eggs, that you got to compare that more to, if you're going to grow homegrown chickens, you're talking about eggs that are worth If you went to Whole Foods and bought pastured organic, you're looking at $6, $8, $9. So if pound for pound you compare that, you're doing well.